To our weekly live stream. My name is Alicia, and in this week's live lesson, we are going to talk about how to keep language study interesting. So today I have 10 different ideas to, I hope, give you some ideas for ways to study that are a little different, ways maybe that don't feel like studying, but you're actually practicing the language and maybe finding new ways to use it as well. So I hope that this lesson is really helpful, especially if you feel a little bit bored with, using textbooks or using video or whatever it is. So I hope that you get some good ideas in today's lesson. So as you join, please make sure to hit the like button and of course share this video so that other people can find today's lesson. That would be super cool. Okay, so while we wait, I have two super quick announcements. The first one is about this banner at the bottom of the screen. It says get 40% off. So our team has a 40% off discount at EnglishClass101.com right now. So you can find this from the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. So if you want to find this and all the details about the discount, you can go down on this page and find the different tool information, the different features that you get with our website, and you can make sure you get it from this page. So check this out. It is at EnglishClass101.com. That is announcement number one. Announcement number two, as always, if you have questions for me, please send me your questions, but please do not send them in YouTube comments or Facebook comments or Instagram DMs or somewhere else, I don't know. There are too many every day. Please send them to our official question and answer page, submission page, which is at EnglishClass101.com/ask-Alicia. That is a very long URL, so you can find the link for this in the YouTube description. Check it out there, and please send me your questions. I always need them, always. So please send them to me. Okay, I think that everything is rolling. It looks like YouTube is here, which is super good. Hi, everybody. Abodi, hello. Leah, hi, what's up? Fiza, hi. Bubble, hello. Angelo, what's up? Hi, everybody. Okay, looks like it's good on YouTube. Facebook, are you here? If Facebook is here, we'll get started. Yes, it looks like Facebook is here. What's up? Hi. Okay. Oh, I can't see anything yet. Okay, good. Let's get started then. Facebook is here. So let's go to today's lesson topic then. I'm going to like and share the video. You can too. And then let's get started. Okay, so today we are going to talk about ways to keep your language study interesting. So it may be some of you've been studying with a textbook for a long time, or you study, I don't know, with flashcards for a long time, and you feel kind of bored, which is normal and natural in anything that you study. So how do you keep your motivation up? How do you keep yourself feeling excited about language study and using it in different ways? Okay? So I have 10 ideas. Let's go to the first group of ideas then. So I made a few different groups for this. You'll kind of see what they are grouped into. So the first group I want to talk about is media study resources. So we talk sometimes about using TV or movies, video, and stuff like that. So I want to talk about a few maybe different ways that maybe you haven't thought about before that you can use these different kinds of media specifically to help your language studies. So the first one, very small on screen here, video games. Video games. Maybe you never thought of this, right? You can, in some video games, and especially on some smartphone games, you can change the language in the video game. So this is super helpful because that means you have to read the menus in the language you're studying, in this case English. You have to read the menus. You can read the characters, dialogue, so the characters, conversations. You have to read that. You have to make decisions in the game. So video games can be a great place for you to study because if you make a mistake, it only affects your game, right? It doesn't affect your real life. So video games can be a really, really good way for you to study in a totally different way. And it's also a game, so it's fun. You have some kind of goal, you have something you want to achieve. So video games can be a super, super good way to kind of keep your studies interesting. You can try many different games too. If you do this, you can leave a comment in the chat and tell us what game you like to use. Okay, let's go to the next group. So next is social media and Discord or online forums. So let's start with social media. I've recommended a few times on this channel using social media as a way to practice, right? Like some of you I know have a Twitter account for your language studies, which is super great. Some of you use Instagram or maybe use Facebook to post updates in the language that you're studying, which is super, super cool. You can also follow people on social media and engage with people on social media. So send them messages, even just a short comment. But the key is you are looking at their posts also, right? To pick up new vocabulary words from them, to see how they talk, because everybody talks a little bit differently. So this can be a really good way to kind of see the different ways that people communicate, maybe in different parts of the world or in different parts even of a country, right? So social media is always a really good tool to use. Just be careful. Sometimes people post rude things or people post inappropriate things, or maybe we also all make typing mistakes. I make typing mistakes too, so keep your eye out for that. Okay. And then the next tip here is Discord or online forums. So if you don't know Discord is a platform that you can use like for a big group chat kind of, but you can have lots of different channels for different topics. You can have lots of different ways of sharing information depending on the Discord server. So you can join a Discord server about a topic you're interested in, or you can find something about maybe news, whatever it is you want to learn more about. You can just read conversations in the Discord to see what's happening and see the vocabulary words people are using, and then maybe you can join the conversation too, okay? And similarly, this is a little bit older now, I think, is online forums. So this is similar. It's like an online place for discussion, but Discord is in real time, right? So we can write something and get a reply back. Maybe the person is online at the same time. With online forums, however, usually there's a little bit of lag, like it takes some time for the person to read the message and respond to it. So you can use both of these as a way to engage with people, to talk to people, or to read real messages from people online about a topic you are interested in, okay? Cool. So let's continue through our media study resources then. The last two, we talk about them a lot, but I want to cover them again. Ooh, this text box is big. Let me fix that. So we always talk, or we often talk, about TV and movies. You ask me questions about these all the time, how to use TV and movies. So we can talk about that one more time today. But TV and movies are, of course, great study resources, but it's important to choose something that's good for your level, yeah? So if you choose, I don't know, some kind of like crazy science fiction story with lots and lots of like words that aren't real, it might be really confusing. Like the story might be interesting, maybe there's lots of action, but it might not be the best thing to use for your studies. So for TV and movies, I usually recommend things that are like everyday life sort of things. So I know a really, really popular one people like to use is the show Friends. That's a very popular American English TV show. There are lots of episodes, it's a comedy, so people like to use that. So TV and movies, you can use with subtitles, without subtitles, or a mix. That's usually what I recommend to people. Watch it one time with subtitles, one time without subtitles. See if you remember it, use the captions. You can do all of these things. A key point here with TV and movies, don't just watch once, right? Not just once. Make sure that you give yourself time to review the things that you watch, okay? So TV and movies, of course, are really good media study resources. Okay, the next one I want to talk about, I think is very important, and maybe we forget it sometimes, but watching YouTube, but not learning videos, so not language learning videos. Of course, I'm very happy that everybody joins, live streams and watches our videos every week. Thank you very much. But it's also important that you use YouTube to watch other things, right? So learning videos like these are helpful for you to kind of bridge, the gap between your native language and the language you're studying, right? But then it's important that you find creators talking about your hobbies, the topics that you're interested in, and go watch them because they are going to talk about things in a different way. They're going to use specific vocabulary words that learning videos are probably not going to use. So make sure that you are also watching YouTube, but including videos that are not just learning videos in your YouTube habits. So this is a super, super important point because also sometimes YouTube has the captions on the videos. They automatically create those captions. So this can be a really good tool for you. You can find a personality that you enjoy and watch that. And so you can have a little bit of caption support too sometimes. So I recommend, of course, watching learning videos, but also make sure you watch videos that are not about learning as well. Okay? All right, I'm looking for your comments now. Hello, everybody is saying hello. What's up, everybody? Hi, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Eric from Bolivia, what's up? Oscar says, does someone know how to join a Discord? So Discord, oftentimes, Discord is it's connected to a community that exists. So for example, if there's a YouTuber that you really like and they say, hey, come join my Discord, then you might find a link for that in their YouTube description. So usually a Discord is part of a community somewhere. You can, of course, do a search, maybe Discord for, a specific topic you're interested in, but oftentimes a Discord is kind of connected to a community that exists. Okay. All right. Good. So everybody's saying hello. Hello, everybody. Good. So this is part 1, our media study resources. So let's take one super, super quick break, and then we'll go to part 2. Okie dokie. So if you missed it, our team has a 40% off deal right now at EnglishClass101.com. So if you want to find this discount, if you want to get this discount, please check the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. You will find this page. I'll go up. So on this page, you can go down and you can take a look at all the different features and the different tools you can find at EnglishClass101.com and see if it looks good for you. Hopefully it does. So if you want to get the 40% off discount, then make sure to check this out. I think this one ends pretty soon. I'm not sure exactly what the date is on this one, but check it out because it's probably going within about a few days. Usually these are quick. So check this out at EnglishClass101.com. Link here or here, or maybe here. Okay, great. It looks like everything is going well, so let's continue on to part 2 today. Okay, if you haven't, please make sure to hit the like button and of course share this video so that other people can find today's lesson. Okay, let's continue on to part 2. Part 2 is very short. Part 2 and part 3 are very short. But part 2 is traditional study resources. So traditional study resources, I mean, things that you probably use in your studies now, or maybe you used them before, but maybe this is a different way for you to use them. Maybe you never thought of this before. So the first one I want to talk about is flashcard apps. So maybe you make flashcards, right? You have some on paper, or maybe you have a software that shows you the cards. But if you use a flashcard app, one that is what's called a spaced repetition system, these kind of make it more like a game. So what this means is when you use a flashcard app with a spaced repetition system in it, it means that when you get the answer right on a flashcard, you won't see that card again for a few days. But if you get the answer wrong, you'll see the card again very soon, maybe a few hours later. So The card application, the software remembers which words are difficult for you and which words are easy for you. So you don't see the easy words as often, but you do see the hard words more often. So in this way, you are studying more efficiently, and some apps, depending on the app or the software, they might actually have some kind of game inside them too. So flashcard apps can be a really fun way to kind of level up flashcard study, because I know just vocabulary study is sometimes kind of boring, right? So some of these apps can be really, really good to have kind of more like a game feel. We do have flashcards that use spaced repetition at EnglishClass101.com. If you have never tried it, check it out. You can find it in the vocabulary menu on the website, okay? All right, that is point one for traditional study resources. The second one is maybe a little scary for some of you, but I want to explain why I included it here. So this next tip is sign up for a test. So you might think, well, yeah, of course, I have to pass a test. But some of you, I know, you don't have to pass a test. You don't have like a job requirement or school requirement. And maybe you think, I don't want to take a test, right? But the reason signing up for a test can be so effective is because we don't want to fail, right? A lot of us don't want to fail. So when we sign up for a test, we study, right, to hopefully pass the test. So even if you don't think, maybe you don't think this test is important, maybe you don't care about the result, but you're going to pay some money to sign up for the test and go to the testing place, right? So you're going to do your best, right, to pass the test. So this can be a really good study motivator. I've done this in the past before too, just signing up for the test, and it worked for me. Actually, I passed the test. This was many years ago. But this can be a really great way to increase your study motivation with kind of this outside deadline, this outside pressure on you. So signing up for a test can be a really good way to kind of trick yourself into studying more, just because you don't want to fail, right? And it feels good to pass the test, yeah? So this can be another really, really good thing to do to make sure that you have some motivation, and also like it gives you kind of like some goals usually. When you sign up for a test, often there's like some requirements, yeah? So you're going to need this grammar point, this grammar point, this grammar point. Usually there's a list, right? Or some kind of information about the test level, right? So this can help you to get some like direction, so you know what to study next. I need to study all of these points to to pass this test. So if you don't know like what to do next, you could try this. Just sign up for a test and study for that. Of course, don't sign up for a test that's like tomorrow. Make sure you have time to prepare and time to study. Yeah. So this can be another really good way to increase your study motivation. Okay. All right. Great. So part two, very, very short. Very petite little part two. Great. So we'll take one more super quick break, and then we'll go on to part three, where again, this is short, but I have some things I want to share, some ideas I want to share. So very, very quickly, if you missed it earlier, the team has a 40% off sale, a 40% off discount at EnglishClass101.com. So check the link below the video or above the video if you want to get access to that discount. I will talk a little bit more about that later. I want to continue on to part three right away. Okay, so part three, everyday life resources. So by everyday life resources, I mean the things you are probably going to use and the people you are probably going to meet every day or nearly every day, right? So what can we do with these everyday life resources? Let's take a look. Okay, so first, very important, making friends, yeah? So if you can make friends, even online friends, with someone who speaks the language that you're learning, or if you have a family member that speaks the language, you can talk to them often, right? I know maybe you feel kind of scared, like, oh, I don't want to make a mistake when I talk to my friend, but if you just make, I don't know, like a really small conversation every once in a while, like once a week or something like that, you comment on their social media post, something like that, you can build a relationship, one, so you can make friends and you can practice your language skills. And if you send a nice comment to that person, they'll be really happy, right? So don't put, mean things on your friends' social media accounts. But you can use these kinds of connections, for your studies as well. But it's very important, don't make the other person feel like they have to teach you something all the time, right? So do your best, to make sure it's a friend relationship, yeah? Not like a free language tutor relationship. Like you guys are friends, yeah? So make sure that you are talking to your friends, your friends who use those languages that you are studying, talk to them, and your family members as well. So, so important. They are great resources for you to practice, and they have all kinds of experiences to share with you, yeah? Okay, great. Let's go on to the last tip. This one is one of my favorites. So this one I do as well. This box is very big. Let me change this. So this last tip that I have here, maybe it sounds scary for some of you. The last tip is to set your phone to the language you are studying. So by that, I mean your smartphone. Change the settings on your smartphone to, if you're studying English, change it to English. If you're studying another language, change it to the other language. So why do I recommend this? Doing this means you have to learn key words, like everyday words for communication, right? For emailing, for sending and receiving files, for using social media apps, for making payments as well. If you feel a little uncomfortable using your phone, like to make payments or something, like you're not sure about the vocabulary words, you can choose some apps to keep in your language. So this is a really good way to make sure you always know exactly what you're doing. So when it comes to money, you can make sure that you keep your money-related apps in your language, at least for now. But if you change the operating system of your phone, if you change it to English in this case, this can be a really good way to get regular practice. So you have to think in English every time you pick up your phone. So if you use your phone, like most people do, you use it a lot every day, right? So every time you pick up your phone, you're using English, right? It feels much more natural in this way. So you can do this. And if it feels a little bit like too much at the beginning, you can try to do it for 1 hour, for example, to start. If you know you're busy, but you want to try this, you could try choosing, a time where you know, okay, I'm going to have 1 hour. I'll change my phone to this for 1 hour or so. So you can do this to just get some more real world experience through your phone. So you don't have to talk to anybody, but you can see how people would use these vocabulary words, right? What is the appropriate vocabulary word to use in these situations? So this is another tip that you can use in your everyday life. You can do the same thing with your computer as well if you want to do this. So this can be a really good tip. Like I said, this is something I do as well. I just keep my phone, in my case, in Japanese, and I have to use it every day. I have to use Japanese every day, no matter where I am in the world. So this is a really good study tip, and it keeps everything kind of fresh in your mind, I think. You don't forget these very common vocabulary words. So this can be a super, super great tip. Okay. All right. I am looking for your questions and your comments. I see many people are saying hello, welcome everybody. Hi, everybody. Patrick on YouTube says, it's very difficult to make a friend who speaks English. Sometimes we find someone who's not fluent in English. Is it good to practice this way with someone who is still learning? What do you think? I think that it's great to practice with people who are still learning. I mean, from like the perspective, okay, I can talk about two perspectives, 2 points of view here. So as a person who, I took language study classes and I was a teacher in language study classes. So your classmates in that situation, they are learning the same thing as you. And so they are similar to you because their level is maybe similar. And they are going to make mistakes, sure. But both of you can forgive each other, right? A little bit. Like both of you are doing your best and you need a little extra time to think these kinds of things, that's okay. The key point is that you are getting practice, right? And what I found in my language studies was often my friend, like my classmate, like they sometimes knew something I didn't know. Like they knew a vocabulary word or a grammar point, and I would go, oh yeah, that's a good way to say that. Like I would think about it and go, oh yeah, and take a note. and they would do the same thing for me. So we each learned from each other in this way. So it's true, we're not 100% fluent, but we can still learn things from each other. So I would say, yes, definitely make sure to make time to have, study partners. I think that that's a really, really great connection. Okay, other questions? I don't see any other questions right now. Okay, hello everybody. Some people are asking about best ways to prepare for exams. I think this really depends a bit on the exam that you're taking, if it's a speaking kind of exam, if the exam is very grammar focused. So I would say check the requirements of the exam and make sure you use your energy to focus on those key points for that exam. So if you're, if you're going to do a speaking related test, if you're going to do a speaking focused test, maybe you don't need to spend lots of time practicing writing essays. I mean, maybe it's helpful, but maybe it's best to use a lot of your time to practice speaking, recording yourself and so on. So look at the requirements for the test and think about how you can match your efforts to the requirements there, okay? All right, phew. Great questions though, thank you everybody. Okay, oh my gosh, I'm almost out of time. Wow, that was so fast today. So I will finish up there for today's lesson. So we talked about 10 different ideas to make your studies interesting, to keep your studies interesting. So I hope that you got some ideas for just some different things that you can do to keep your studies feeling fresh and maybe exciting and hopefully a little bit more fun. So I'll end today's lesson here, but I'll be back next week, of course. So next week's lesson information is right here. Okay, so next week I'll be back on Wednesday, May 31st at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is New York City time. If you don't know your local time, please Google it. Or you can set a notification on Facebook or on YouTube, or if you follow me on Instagram, sometimes I post a topic reminder in my stories sometimes. You can follow me on Instagram anyway for other things too. Next week, I'm going to talk about talking about other people. So, I mean, he said, she said, how do we talk about like the conversations we have with other people? How do we report those things? So we're going to talk about this kind of thing. So maybe if you like to gossip, this can be a good one for you. But it's also really, really helpful in school and work situations to report information that other people said. So we are going to talk about this next week. So please make sure to join me again at this time, same channel. Okay? All right, so let's say goodbye for this week. Thank you so much for joining me live. That was super, super great. Thank you for your great questions too. Also, don't forget our team has this 40% off discount at EnglishClass101.com. So to get this, if you want to get this, please click the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video if you're watching on Facebook, to find all of the details about the 40% discount, and go down on this page to find the different tools and the different features and so on. So I hope that this is helpful. It's a great chance if you want to start studying with our lessons, with more of my video lessons, audio lessons, and some super, super great tools. Okay, I'll say goodbye for this week. So thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day, have a great week, have a great weekend, and I will see you again next time. Bye.